Severance. So Severance is a series that ended its second season a few weeks ago. I'm going to read the synopsis on IMDb, but you know what the synopsises are like on IMDb. Mark leads a team of office workers whose memories have been surgically divided between their work and personal lives. When a mysterious colleague appears outside of work, it begins a journey to discover the truth about their jobs. I mean, that's really the synopsis about the first season, I guess. But the second season takes off right where the last season left us at off at. It was amazing, amazing. This series is just so good. I highly recommend this series. The characters are interesting, the development is interesting, the acting is fantastic, the writing, the dialogue, it's all good. It fits each character's the real characters. They've really built these characters up, and they've got these journeys. And then, of course, you've just got the main conceit of it, which is like almost like a philosophical debate about what constitutes as a separate person. You know, like it's just crazy. Like it's insane. Like if just because you can't remember something, does that mean that person's you or not? Like I've been thinking about this a lot. This whole thing about splitting your mind, going into a room, not remembering what happened outside of that room, only remembering the room, and then leaving the room and not remembering what happened inside the room and only the outside of the room. And it's like, does that person have as many rights as you? Like, I'll have dreams, right? And that will be my consciousness experiencing a whole world. And then I'll wake up and not remember that at all. And in a sense, I feel like I do kind of have more rights than my dream consciousness had. Or do I? I don't know. It's so interesting. It's such a fun, interesting sort of philosophical debate you get to have throughout the whole thing. And I just find it so enjoyable to be in a world with this huge philosophical debate right in the center of it. The last episode, I'm going to try not give any spoilers. If I do give spoilers, I'll say spoiler alert. But in the last episode, it was so good. What's his name? The actor who plays... Okay, I'm going to find his name. Milchek. Tramel Tillman. He is on another level. He's so good at acting. And it's just the way he stands up to his boss when he needs to with the phrase, okay, I guess this is a spoiler alert, with the phrase devour feculence. Like, has there been a better written line in a series? Devour feculence. It's so good. His character is so well developed and so interesting. I really hope he breaks good, if you know what I mean. I hope he just becomes on the good team, because he's one of the most interesting people there are on this series. There are some less interesting characters. I will say I'm a little bit uninterested in the Christopher Walken and John Turturro storyline. You know, I was really excited when John Turturro came out and he had all that research on all the painting, and I was like, okay, is he in the army? Is he a spy? Has he been sent there by anyone? But they kind of just followed this gay story, and a nice little gay love story, I guess. But in the end, nothing special about that story. In my opinion, Patricia Arquette, who plays Cobell, great character, great acting, and then you've got Zach Cherry playing Dylan. Another one, like, really interesting. Is it cheating if your wife comes and meets your innie? It's still you, but it just doesn't have your memories. Is that cheating? I guess it is. I guess they are their own person. I don't know. Heliar with the little fringe. My little sister has a very similar fringe to her. And my little sister told me, so Heliar is really, really great in this. Now moving on to a different thing. My little sister told me a really funny theory that Rickon, who is Mark, who's the lead character, Mark's, I guess, brother-in-law, told me that Rickon might be a goat. Which is like, oh, okay, so there's a goat And then they, I guess somehow, what's it called? Sever the memory and put the memory of the goat into. I don't know, but apparently he's a goat. But I find that quite funny. Could be a goat. Adam Scott. We've got to talk about Adam Scott. He's so good in this series. They build up the series to, okay, more spoilers, I guess, to a part where he's able to talk to himself via sort of video. He's in one room where he's got the memories of this room, and he can record himself. Then he can step outside, watch the recording as his other self, and then respond to it. And he has this whole conversation, and there's very just slight differences in character. And I'm like, this is great acting. It's not over the top, but you can tell these are two different people, really, and they have a really interesting debate about it. And one of the best lines in the whole show, which is delivered by Heliar, Britt Lauer, which is, did you think that just because you gave us half a life that we wouldn't fight for it? Damn, that's such good writing. Now, the second season wasn't perfect, though. There was some problems I have with it. But I loved it. I will say I loved it. I recommend it. I thought it was a worthy second season. The first season was a little bit better, and I'm going to tell you why. So, Severance, in the second season, I mean, in the first season you're told this, but in the second season they really sort of bring up the idea of reintegrating the memories so you become one person and remember it all. And Adam Scott's character Mark wants to do it, and he starts having the operation. Now, I don't know if you've ever heard of Chekhov's gun. If you introduce a gun in Act 1, someone needs to shoot that gun by Act 3. That's like the rules of storytelling. And yeah, I have to say, they introduced him having this operation, so his mind is going to be integrated again. And they don't ever get there. They never properly get to that bit. It's just little flashes. I've got a headache. Oh, am I going to die? I got a nosebleed or whatever. But he never gets there. And it's like, you make a promise and you don't deliver, or you're just like trying to keep us waiting until the next season. But it's just like, that's really annoying. And I have a theory. They were writing it and they were like, yes, this is great. This is what we want to do. We want to have him integrated so he can remember everything again. And then as they got towards the last episode, they thought, oh, what would be awesome is if Adam Scott's character, Mark, can have this conversation with himself. That amazing scene, which was wonderful, right? Obviously, he can't do that scene if his memory has been integrated. They can't do that scene because he will just remember everything. He'll just be one person again. So it's almost as if they're writing, and then like he's going to get his mind integrated, blah, 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 blah. We're going to go through the whole story. And then they came up with the idea of this, oh wait, he can talk to himself with the video camera. So they kind of just stopped the mind integration bit, I guess. And we're like, okay, I guess let's pause on the mind integration so we can still have this awesome scene at the end. Because if they carried on in the direction that they were promising, we wouldn't even be able to have that scene at the end. If that makes any sense, I think that makes perfect sense. So that's my theory. And it's a bit annoying because it's like, I guess technically you should have had the him talking to himself with a video camera scene before he started having operations to get his mind integrated. But I don't feel like they developed this story that way. They didn't write it that way. And it's just annoying because they've stretched out one bit that I really want to see. I want to see him remember everything. And they kind of promise it. They're there, ready. He's had the operation. They have a whole scene where it's like, is it going to happen? And he like wakes up on the table, and it's like, no, it never really happens. It's just little flashes, and I found that a tiny bit annoying. So that brings it down just a little bit for me, a little bit. But apart from that, the series is awesome. The series is fucking great. I recommend this series, guys. Watch this series if it's the last thing you do.